she has it wrong. She, along with Earl and some of those folks, I think just don't really understand what it is they're doing. And really, I believe that what they're trying to do could end up being counterproductive to the sorts of things that they've demonstrated are important to them, community involvement in the process and so forth. So with all that said, one of the biggest objections that I have to the elected city attorney is that it would replace what is currently a professional position right now with the city with another political position. People believe, and you've heard some of the stuff that Norma said earlier, that the city attorney does this, the city attorney does this other thing, allowed the CBRC to be formed, allowed this other thing to happen, et cetera, et cetera. Those are political decisions that were not made by the city attorney. Those political decisions were made by the politicians, the people in charge, mayor and city council at those particular moments in time. And so the key distinction is that we would take away what is currently a professional position, somebody who has to be qualified, who has to be experienced in municipal government, and replace that with a political position that is susceptible to all of the political winds that come and go, including the effects of special interests, which I believe would play an especially larger role in our community if we decided to go with an elected city attorney. Some of the arguments that I've heard Norma offer are this question of size, that the city of Chula Vista is now the right size to have a city attorney. Well, currently what I believe we have in our city attorney's office is 4 attorneys. We don't have any more. The city of San Diego has upwards of 150 city attorneys. And so that in the city of San Diego, you can imagine that the day in, day out activities of the city attorney's office get done. In the city of Chula Vista, that might not be the case. If we were able to elect somebody that wasn't really qualified, maybe was a beautiful candidate, but really not a qualified attorney, you can imagine how much havoc and how much exposure that could lead to for our city. And so in the case of Chula Vista, really size speaks to not having an elected attorney, because you could potentially bring somebody into that office that is completely unqualified. People have spoken about now, the people's right to choose, all that. There's no question about that. The Constitution allows that. The problem is that, the democratic process, I think, is perfectly suited to select political leaders, and that's what it does best. It is not very well suited to select what should be a professional person, someone who is qualified, who knows the law, and can offer and allow your city to make the best possible legal decisions that it needs to make. A couple of other problems is that this position would ultimately, I believe, be the most powerful position in our city government, more powerful than your mayor, more powerful than your city council, and because of that, would be very susceptible to special interests. If people here, it's ironic that people say, well, our current political elected leaders are, more concerned about special interests than they are about the people's interests. Imagine how much worse that would be with an elected city attorney. You wouldn't be able to fire the person. If he was a rotten city attorney, got into all kinds of trouble, you wouldn't be able to fire him. This idea that that they would have to seek city council approval for lawsuits. I mean, I can't remember the last time that we dealt with city council with somebody when the city was actually initiating a lawsuit. Most of the lawsuits that come are people that sue the city, so we need to be prepared to respond. And in that case, this political person in the place of a professional person wreak a lot of havoc that would ultimately cost us stability in our city, investment, and the proper spending of city resources on things that we all want: park maintenance, street maintenance, all those different activities, police activity that the citizens want, as opposed to being spent on frivolous lawsuits.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.